to inform our people who are the children of Israel according to the scriptures, who they really are and how they came to be in the state that we're in. We must cast down all these lies we've been taught for all these years. We've been taught lie upon lie upon lie, and we believe it. We read the nonsense of other nations. Most High God didn't give his word to the other nations.
That's right.
So how are they going to teach us how to live, how to treat one another, how to treat our families? They can't. A lot of the things that we're taught is passed down from generation to generation. And we hold on to it with a firm grip. But some things we gotta let go to come back to the Most High God. You can't worship the devil and the Most High God.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
These traditions you follow, these strongholds on our people, are that of Satan, whether you believe it or not. Read.
Matthew chapter 15, verse 3. But he answered and said unto them, why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition? So, all these traditions we've been taught, matter of fact, start at verse 2. All these traditions we were taught, we're taught in church. Many of y'all walking around here thinking y'all saved, because y'all were dipped in some water and the pastor said a prayer over you. You're not saved. That's a stronghold we must release. You understand? Because if you think you're out here saved, what are you saved from? That's right.
What are you saved from? Do you not still struggle with lust? Do you not still struggle with anger? Do you not still lie? So how are you saved? You're not saved from nothing. As you see, our black men are still gunned down in the streets every day.
That's right.
Many of them are saved, so to speak.
That's right.
So what are you saved from? You are still in captivity. You understand? Read that, bro.
Matthew chapter 15, verse 2. Why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders?
Hold on. Because the elders put things in place. And a lot of times, we frown on our brothers when they don't follow the traditions of the elders.
That's right.
We talk mess. When you tell someone, I'm not observing Christmas anymore because the scripture says not to, they frown on you. Your family will turn their backs on you because you don't want to follow this wicked tradition. Read.
For they wash not their hands when they eat bread.
Because this was a tradition that was started by the elders. So the Pharisees and Sadducees said to Christ, why are your disciples breaking the tradition? You understand? These same people are in your families. They will ask you, why are you breaking tradition?
But he answered and said unto them, why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition? So he said, those of you who choose tradition over the word of God, you're breaking the commandment. That's right.
You are breaking the covenant with the Most High God. You understand? So all these strongholds that are on our people keep our people afflicted. And when Christ returns, it is going to be too late.
That's right.
Your time to repent is now. Come back to the word of the Most High God with faith in his son Christ. That is all. Read that again.
But he answered and said unto them, verse 2, why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. So they had the nerve to come to Christ and said, your disciples are not following tradition. Christ said, to hell with your tradition. That's right.
You understand? You all think Christ was a soft man walking around petting baby lambs in the wilderness.
right.
The Bible calls Christ an austere man.
That's right.
Which means, austere means he played no games. He did not come to pet your baby lambs. He did not come to walk your puppies.
That's right.
You understand? Let me explain to some of you who we are. We are the Israelites. You understand? All of you brothers and sisters walking out here today, you blacks and Hispanics, you too are the Israelites.
That's right.
You understand? You've been told lies. Let's see if the prophecies that are in the Bible fit any other nation but the children of Israel.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 54.
Because in order to let go of the strongholds, let go of the traditions, you must first know who you are.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother.
Hold on a second. Some of y'all familiar with black on black crime? Have you ever heard of Chinese on Chinese crime? Have you ever heard of white on white crime? No? Have you ever heard of Japanese on Japanese crime? Who does this prophecy fulfill? This prophecy is about you Negroes, you Hispanics, and Native Americans. You understand? Because you have evil eye towards your brother.
That's right.
That is why you have no problem gunning each other down in the streets. You understand? Right now, we're reading the prophecies that were given unto Moses by the Most High God for the children of Israel. And it only applies to the children of Israel. Read.
And toward the wife of his bosom.
So he also has hatred towards his wife. Read.
And toward the remnant of his children.
So his children and his grandchildren, he also has hatred for. Read.
Whom he shall leave.
Whom he shall what?
Whom he shall leave.
Are the Jewish people, are the husbands leaving their homes? Leaving their children? Are they leaving them single mothers? Who does this prophecy fulfill? Who does it speak about? Our blacks and Hispanics are walking out in their families left and right. But yet, the Bible's not a true book in your eyes. The Bible's prophesying what is going on right now.
That's right.
It tells of things of old, things of now, and things to come.
That's right.
Read that again slow for them.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you.
So the man who acts like he's a thug, the man who acts like he's a gangster, the man who makes you think he's a killer because he has 50 million tattoos. Read.
And very delicate.
But he is delicate.
That's right.
You understand? Some of these so-called thugs, you raise your voice to them and they quiver. Read.
His eye shall be evil toward his brother.
So now you know why you cut each other down. Because you have an evil eye towards your brother. Read.
And toward the wife of his bosom.
So you have it towards your wife as well. You hate your wives. That's why you so easily leave home. Read.
And toward the remnant of his children.
So all of the brothers, whether young or old, you hate those little niggas.
That's right.
You understand? Y'all hate them. Read.
Toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
That's why y'all have no problem leaving your woman, your wife, and her kids. Because you have that deep-rooted hatred, which the Bible speaks of. You understand? Read verse 43.
Verse 43. The stranger that is within thee.
Because at the time, wherever Israel was, other other nations were always around us. You understand? They loved being around Israel because they knew that we had the one true God on our side.
That's right.
As we do today. But because we choose to break his laws, statutes, and commandments, he is frowned upon us. He sent us into captivity because of it. But we have a way to come back to him. And it begins today.
The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
So these strangers that lived among us, because we broke his laws, they are now above us. Meanwhile, they were created to be underneath us. We were supposed to be above them. But because of our wickedness that continues to get worse today, this is why we're in this state. Read.
And thou shalt come down very low.
So wait a minute. So these same strangers that were supposed to be our peons, you understand, are now above us, who are on the bottom of every totem pole in society. You blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You understand? So who is this prophecy about? Is it about the Chinese? Hell no. Is it about those Jewish people? No, because they own everything. So how can it be about them? From the top to the end.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
Read.
And thou shalt come down very low.
We'll come down where?
Very low.
That's why we're in the state we're in. Who else does this Bible prophecy talk about? It's obvious. But because we don't read, we'll never know. We will always be deaf, dumb, and blind. Too scared of anything unless it's told to us by the white man.
That's right.
If they don't teach us, we don't want to hear it.
That's right.
The Bible is a book about the black man's history.
That's right.
But y'all don't want it. Y'all want to be told y'all were spit chuckers in Africa.
That's right.
You were kings. And you choose to let it go. You choose to give it away. Read that again.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
Read.
And thou shalt come down very low.
That's why we're like this, man. And we're going to stay like this. As a matter of fact, read verse 56.
Verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you,
So the woman among us, right? Read.
which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness.
So the woman that was with us, understand this, our wives at the time, many of them were with us, but a lot of them had a secret love for master. So they would turn on us. Question? You have any questions on it? You have to understand that a lot of these movies that are depicted, they're not going to get the full extremity of it. Even though Django was, I guess, drastic, it's not going to be the full extreme of what our movies are. Because Hollywood will never, ever let the full truth come out. Because we're supposed to recognize, okay, at one time, back in those days, we were all on one consensus of who the enemy was. You understand? We all were in agreement. But then that's why it's hard to whip us into fear. Because if we all were on one consensus of who the enemy was, wouldn't there be a chance of revolt? This is the thing about Nat Turner. In Haiti was the coast of Africa was the Mau tribe. They revolted. We also have Richard Toussaint in Haiti. He said the revolt and said the French running from Haiti. You understand? So if you all still in that one consent, they were scared. Master had to sleep at night. So what he did is he broke us. And he made examples out of us. That's why you would see them hang a brother or whip a brother in front of all of the slaves.
I want to hear you say it. Your name is Toby. You're going to learn to say your name. Let me hear you say it. What's your name?
Kunta Kinte.
When the master gives you something, you take it. He gave you a name. It's a nice name. It's Toby. And it's going to be yours till the day you die. Now, I know you understand me, and I want to hear it. Again!
So that the slaves can have a fear in them that they say, you know what, I'm not going to end up like him. I'm going to do whatever master say. Just like today, bro, at work. When they fire you, a lot of times the whole office knows you're going to be fired before they fire you.
That's right. That's right.
You understand? A lot of times, so when you walk in, you wonder why everyone is staring at you. What's going on? Because they already know. They put that same fear that they did back then, now in a different form. It's still the same wickedness. You understand? Matter of fact, let me see. Because when we were on the same consensus, again, you ever heard the Willie Lynch letters? Okay. That was because Master had to sleep at night. He did not want a bunch of ready-to-revolt slaves on his land. You understand? So therefore, he would do certain things to certain slaves, make an example of them, but then after that reward everybody else with some chitlins. Oh, Master didn't with me, but he gave me some chitlins. We happy as hell for some damn chitlins, which we're not supposed to eat.
Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10.
Let me say this book is the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha are the 14 books that were removed from the Bible by the Protestants. And when you hear certain things in here, you'll see why they removed them. You understand? Because they realized that if we had this, matter of fact, you can still buy Bibles now with the Apocrypha in it. It's the King James 1611 version. What the brother right here has it. They had it. And it's also currently still banned in the Caribbean. Believe it or not. Because they don't want you to put two and two together. You understand? Read.
Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10.
Read.
Never trust thine enemy. That's right.
Sometimes trust them.
Never trust thine enemy.
The Bible says never trust your enemy. Understand? But with that alone, do we understand who the enemy is? Let's go to see who the enemy is. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. Because again, we were on one consensus of who the enemy was. You understand? And we didn't trust Master. That's why he had to break us the way he did. So the Django is not showing fully what he did. They're not going to show that. Because at that point, we'll say, you know what? The brothers that jump out on that corner might just be right.
That's right.
And they can't have that because what? If we decide that, we step away from their workforce. We step away from supporting their economy. This country would crumble.
That's right.
It would crumble. And there's no way they would allow that to happen. Nothing comes before their money. Believe that. Because they know, they put the Django out, little half-truths, little missing some pieces. We're going to be like, yeah, we feel empowered that a movie about our history was there. Yeah. Get the hell out of here, man. They're never going to give you that full truth, man. Because if that's the case, they will be on screen saying, you know what? I'm the damn devil the Bible speaks.
That's right.
That's the only truth I want them to tell me.
That's right.
You understand? They can make a million movies all they want. They're not telling me that they're the damn devil. It's a lie. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
Read.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Okay. The word Egypt is defined in Exodus chapter 20. It means land of bondage. It means bondage. Right? So read from the top again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So the Lord shall bring you into bondage again with ships. There's only one group of people that went into bondage on ships. Who might that be? Okay, so we went into bondage on ships, read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
So our homeland, because we went on these ships, and we knew, and the Most High knew He was going to use these people to break us, we would remember our homeland again. We would no longer remember where we came from. We would think we're African. We're not African. We would think we're all other nations except Israel. And this is showing us something. Read.
And there ye shall be sold.
We shall be what?
Shall be sold.
So this group of people went on ships into bondage, and they were what?
Sold.
Whoa. Okay, keep reading, bro.
Unto your enemies.
Unto your who?
Unto your enemies.
So in slavery, we were sold. Unto who?
Unto your enemies.
Now the scripture we read before this, didn't it say never trust your enemies? So who are we sold to?
Unto your enemies.
Yeah, because they insured the ships that we came on. You understand? So understand this. So, but they all come from the same origin, which is Esau. Jewish. I know what you're doing. But bro, understand that. It said never trust your enemies, right? And we just brought the scripture that showed who the Most High God says our enemies are. You understand? So we're never supposed to trust them. Never. We work with them. We got to go to school with them. We got to be on a bottle with them. That's fine. But never think. Matter of fact, what's that guy, Alex Jones? Alex Jones. He has like a news show. He's well known in the community. He's like part of NRA. He's into that Illuminati stuff. He just made a video. And he went on some talk show. He went on some talk show saying how he wants America to go back to 1776. Bro, we were in slavery. So what is he saying? But everybody's like, oh man, yeah. Because now they have an issue with the government wants to take their guns. So now they want you, black man, to rally with them. That's their fight. Let them handle it. Let them take your guns because you had no problem shooting us down with them. Take their damn guns. But he says, let's go back to 1776, which means we're going to be able to all have guns, but that means your black butt going to be back in slavery.
That's right.
And they condone that. No black people have said anything about that. They're okay with it. This is why I say, never trust your enemy.
Yes.
Because for him to make a statement like that and have all these white people rallying with them, what does that really mean? How they really feel about you? You tell me they haven't thought that through? So we're the only ones who discovered that we were in slavery in 1776. We're the only ones? Alex Jones.
Right.
He said that. And during the interview, I think it was on CNN, he said that. So on CNN, he had the interview. This might have been like 4 weeks ago. Yeah, bro. Oh yeah, when the kids in Connecticut got shot. And the government was now starting to rally to take the guns back. And they had that gun rally in Chicago. He returned a lot of their guns. So he's like, yo, we need to, you're not taking our guns, you're not taking our guns, part of NRA, yada, 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 all that stuff. And what he says, let's go back to the year 1776, where basically everybody had arms. And it was fine. But now, this is the thing. The enemy always wants the black man to be a part of his fight when he wants you to be.
That's right.
Every other time you're a nigga until he needs you. The same thing happened in the feminist movement in the early 1900s, right? The white woman wanted power, the same power that her white man had. Because she didn't have any backing, she had no one to rally behind her but other white women, including lesbian women, to be honest. What they did was they started to make black women feel like it was also their fight.
Definitely took a toll on black male-female relationships, especially in the 1960s, because in the 1960s, black men and black women, they were doing what they were supposed to have done for a long time, which was fight together against white supremacy, against racism. And they were doing this with the civil rights movement. So what happened, people had to come in and infiltrate and have a divide and conquer strategy between black men and black women. In 1964, government came in and they pulled black women to the side, and they started to classify black women and women in general as minorities. In 1964, that's the first time they classified women as minorities. So they started to give them set-asides and benefits, and then they created the feminist movement, and a lot of sisters branched off into that, and that kind of created a rift because a lot of sisters stopped fighting for civil rights and they started to fight for women's rights, but women's rights weren't being jeopardized in the black community. Our first priority was racism, and we should have dealt with that first.
We wanted to be free. We didn't need any boundaries, need no man to tell us what to do. Well, we hadn't had no man to tell us what to do anyway. You couldn't tell us what to do in slavery, so who, we didn't really have no fight with you about that. That was the white woman's fight with her man, but we took it on. I want to be free. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do. And then women started having babies, what they call out of wedlock, and then that got to be okay too. Oh, it's all right. Once it got accepted by society, all of the rest of the people, then it was okay then to just have a baby. In fact, I don't even want him for nothing but to just have a baby. And then we started saying, I'm gonna be the mother and the father. All kind of nonsense. And so what happened was that movement, and there never was a sisterhood in the women's liberation movement between the black woman and the white woman. And there never was a sisterhood in the women's liberation movement between the black woman and the white woman.
Oh, look, sister, you could be equal with us too. But all black women at that time were scrubbing people's kitchen floors.
Right.
And ironing, making 3 cents a day. You understand? We weren't on their level to begin with. So why are we fighting your fight?
That's
You
right.
understand? This is what they do. This is the truth. You have to understand, bro. When they want you, it's when it becomes our fight.
That's right.
Now they want all us people to rally together and say, oh, they're trying to take our guns. No, white man, they're trying to take your guns. You understand? Because, let's be honest, the brothers who have guns in the hood, nobody knows, they're not registered. So cops ain't coming to their house to take their guns. No, you have legal guns. Your guns are registered. They're becoming your guns. You understand? But they make it seem like it's our fight. It's not our fight. When you have an issue, y'all handle it. So back in the feminist movement, same thing. A lot of white men, it was a white group industry, everything. Music, food, everything was white men in power. The white woman was tired of being at home. The lesbians were tired of being in the closet. So they mustered up this rally together and they said, you know what? Let's make it seem like we all as women need equal rights. And that's how it started. So black women who didn't have problems in their homes, they didn't have any problems. They were happy being wives with loving husbands and loving children. They took on the white woman's fight. Left the black man at home. That's that scripture that's on verse 56. The tender woman. Go back to that. Let the Bible speak.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 56.
Read.
The tender and delicate woman among you,
Read.
which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness.
So, at one point, she was a delicate, tender wife, loving. But when she started to hear these things in her head, because she also had a secret hatred for her husband, secret hate, I say secret hatred. She loved him as a woman should. She took care of the children as a woman should. But she said, you can never be the white man. She had that superiority thing that you can never amount to that white man who owns the company, right? Read. Oh, she can put her foot on delicateness. So now she's a loudmouth woman is what she is now. She's a loud black woman, that's what she is. Because she never put her foot back on delicateness. Yes, she's no longer delicate.
That's right.
Read.
Her eye shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom.
Her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom.
And toward her son.
And towards her son.
And towards her daughter.
And towards her daughter. Because she left everything to take on that white man's fight. She left her family at home to go fight their battle. The Bible is a true book, man.
That's right.
You understand? But so, my brother, I want to say to you, I've seen you here before, right? Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm glad you stopped. But who are you on the sign? Okay, so you tribe of Judah. Okay. What was your father? Okay, so your family was directly derived from the slave trade. Now, for our people to get go to Romans, because the Bible prophesies that the Most High God would start to wake our people up. These the nation, the people of these 12 sons of Jacob. And in Genesis 32, the Most High God changed Jacob's name from Jacob to Israel. So that's why when we, the children of Israel, we're not talking about that desolate land. We're talking about the father, Jacob, had 12 sons. So we are descendants. Okay, for instance, in the church they teach that we're going to get the blessing of Abraham, right? They're quick to say that part, but they don't want to break down the rest of it. Because Abraham, yes, is the progenitor, right? Just like Adam, the progenitor of everybody. But the Most High God chose Israel out of all the other nations. And you are a direct descendant of that. Understand? So there are certain things that you must do knowing that you are of the tribe of Judah. You are from the same lineage that Christ came from.
That's right. Right.
Christ was a black man. We can bring out right now how many prophets in the Bible say they're black.
That's right.
That's why they changed the versions of the Bible. New International Version, New Translation, New King James Version. Why would they change it? It's actually an insult. They changed the versions of the Bible as if you can't understand the King James Version.
That's right.
It's not another language. So it's actually a slap in the face to you, black man. That they feel, oh, the Negro can't understand King James, so let me make a new Chinese version, whatever. That's why they do it. But what they do is they take certain words and change them so that you can understand who you are, bro. Read that Romans 13, let's go to, let's go to Songs of Solomon, 1 5.
Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And that, knowing the time.
There's a time. There's going to be a time. Read.
That now it is high time to awake.
It is high time to awake.
Out of sleep.
Out of sleep, because we are all asleep not knowing who you are.
That's right.
You understand? When we were brought here in slavery, like we read earlier, it says, you shall not wherefore I sleep, thou shalt see it no more. Right? We would not see our homeland anymore. We would not remember who we are. But in the book of Romans, the Most High Christ put it in Paul to say that time will come when we must wake up. Because we've been sleeping for almost 400 years, bro. We've been asleep, but you woke up today because you've seen who you are. We brought out the scriptures describing our people. These prophecies only apply to one group of people. The children of Israel that you see on that sign.
That's right.
That's it. The Chinese don't apply. The Bible is not an international book. That's why they made the NIV, the New International Version. They made it an international book.
That's right.
The Bible is only given to one people. Before we get to that, let's go to Song of Solomon.
Song of Solomon.
This is King Solomon, David's son, King David, the mighty King David. Listen to what Solomon says.
Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5.
Read.
I am black.
He is what?
I am black.
Solomon was black.
That's right.
King Solomon was black. I know. David's son was black. Read that again.
Song of Solomon 1 and 5.
Read.
I am black, but comely.
Read. That means I'm dark and good looking. You understand? But in the NIV version it says I am dark and calm. That's what it says. Brother, write that down, go check for yourself. It says I am dark and calm. So why would they change that? Because it doesn't have the same impact. A black man would not read that and identify with it. This is how they broke us. They took your identity. Those Khazars, who they call themselves Jewish now, Khazars, they stole your identity. How were they able to do that? By changing things around. What is called whitewashing. Read.
Job chapter 30.
Now this is the great prophet Job. Everybody knows the story of Job. How the Most High God saw this righteous man and told Satan, why don't you test my servant Job? Because Job was that righteous. Satan says, I'll test him, but he has too much. He has riches. He has an abundant family. So he says, if I take all of that, I bet you Job will not worship you anymore. Job never bent, never blundered, never kicked it, never missed a step. He worshiped the Most High God as these men in front of you do. You understand?
Right.
We keep the Most High God's laws as you should too, brother. As you should too, brother. The church teaches you that the laws are done away with. That is nonsense, man. Read that.
Job chapter 30, verse 30. My skin is black upon me.
Hold on. His boots,
My skin,
his sweater,
my skin,
his sandals.
my skin is black upon me.
So, the Bible is a book for you, brother. The Bible is a book for you, brother. It's not for the Chinese man. It's not for the African man. It's not an international book.
That's right.
This is why they changed it to an international book. Because just like the other nations that were around us back in the wilderness, when we were coming out of the wilderness and wherever we dwelt, they came around us because they yearned to be a part of the Most High God of Israel.
That's
The
right.
same thing they do today. They still want to be a part of it. But what they did was they stole our identity and we never remember. But it's high time. Read Romans 13:11. I love that. It's high time, man. It's high time to cast down these lies, this wickedness that they teach us day in and day out. Day in and day out, they lie to us and we suck it up. It's like what we got suck. We got biscuits and you suck the gravy. We suck it all up, man. Read.
Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And that knowing the time,
Knowing the time.
that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
It's high time to wake out of sleep, man. We went into slavery almost 400 years ago, and we act like we're all equal. But the Bible never said anything about equality, because there's no one equal to the children of Israel.
That's right.
No one. That's why they marvel after us, brother. But while they marvel after us, trying to be like us, our people are trying to be like them.